Hey guys, it's Christy and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me. Today we have an all new review of the new Too Faced Born This Way Ethereal Light Concealer. So before we get into it, I hope you'll consider subscribing to my channel before you leave. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy, and let's get into it. Alright guys, so I do have my eye makeup on, but nothing else, as you can obviously tell. So let's just hop right into the concealer. This is the new Too Faced Born This Way Ethereal Light Concealer. So this is available now at Sephora and on Too Faced website. And this describes itself as a buttery serum light buildable concealer that effortlessly glides onto the skin to camouflage imperfections for up to 24 hours. We're not testing the 24-hour claim. However, we will try to give this a really good run today. So this has a shelf life of 6 months and it is made in Italy. It also claims to be vegan with a natural finish. It's supposed to be hydrating and contains hyaluronic acid. And obviously it's supposed to be long wearing, waterproof, and medium coverage. So this is what the bottle looks like. It's very beautiful actually. I love the gold detail. I love the baby pink lid. I really like this packaging as opposed to their Born This Way concealer. I do think this packaging is much prettier than their original Born This Way concealer. So I have the original Born This Way over here, so you can see there's quite a size difference. The original contains 15 ml or 0.5 fluid ounces of product, and it is made in Italy, whereas the new one has 5 ml and 0.16 fluid ounces, has a 6-month shelf life, and is also made in Italy. So both made in Italy. The original formula has a longer shelf life, double the shelf life, and you get a lot more product. This one obviously shorter, but this one is also supposed to be a much more hydrating formula, and you get a lot less product. I do think this is a much lower price point though. This retails for $34 Canadian or 26 US. I do think the packaging really beautiful. And one thing I feel like I'm noticing a little bit just from looking at the shade range online. A common beef I have had with Too Faced is that their shades tend to pull yellow. This one actually doesn't look like it's going to. So this is the shade Oatmeal. So this is supposed to be like very fair with cooler pink undertones. So just like I do for foundation wear tests, one side I am going to powder down, the other side I will not. So one side could be a complete disaster, but we're going to test it out anyway. I am especially thinking with a hydrating concealer I would normally powder. And then it's just got this cute little slanted doe foot. I really like the shape of the point. I know the regular Born This Way concealer has a very large doe foot. This is just cute and dainty, kind of on trend with what we're seeing from a lot of brands right now. Okay, that shade looks beautiful. Definitely has that pinkier undertone, but you know what? I'm super happy about that because typically with Too Faced, it's just yellow. Doesn't matter what description you get, it ends up looking very yellow. So I'm already happy with the shade of this. So it looks like it gave some pretty nice coverage on one swipe. You can see on this side we have my dark circles. This side, it really did kind of erase them a little bit. So I'm just going to go up a little bit more. And I'm not somebody who does a ton of concealer on my under eyes, but I just like to do enough to camouflage dark circles, and I really like to get this dark line out here that kind of drives me crazy. I really do love that shade. I think that shade is perfect. It's very lightweight. Like, I don't feel like I have anything on my under eyes, which I do like. So same thing on this side. I really do like the shape of the doe foot because this little point really allows you to get right up in there, and then the slant just kind of applies the perfect amount of product. So I do like that. So far I'm really pleased with the shade range. It's kind of making me wonder if they're revamping their shade ranges in general. I know they've changed leadership, so I'm wondering if maybe that has anything to do with it. I don't know, but I'm pleased to see. I'm really excited about this shade. And it's blending beautifully with my brush. It's not settling too badly into lines. I really do like the coverage that I'm getting. It's definitely a medium coverage, but I feel like it does a really good job covering up those circles, so I'm pleased with that. I will try a little bit of spot concealing with it. Okay, it does a pretty good job spot concealing. Yeah, okay. My face is definitely recovering from some really massive breakouts. Everything's clearing up beautifully now, but I've definitely got a lot of scarring left over. I had a food sensitivity I did not know about. So, okay, so now that the concealer is on, let me pop off camera. I'm going to finish the rest of my makeup and I'll come back. I'll powder one of my under eyes and we will get this wear test started. So the rest of the makeup is on. The only thing I haven't done is powdered my under eyes. I am only going to do one side, so I think I'm just going to do this side. And I'm just going to take that with a puff and I'm going to use my Dior Powder No Powder. I have been using this one for my under eyes a lot lately, and just like everybody else on the internet, I have been using a puff and that trick really does work, let me tell you. So just taking a little bit of powder, just pressing it in. That definitely took any sort of tackiness out of the product. There is a slight bit of a tack to it when you touch, but otherwise it doesn't look too bad. I do think the powdered side definitely looks a little more blurred and has a little bit more coverage going on. So I do think the powder gave us a little bit more coverage on this side. But overall, I do think both sides look pretty good. It definitely has a luminosity to it, so I'm seeing where that ethereal light claim comes in. So this is supposed to be an illuminating, smoothing concealer. I do think it's illuminating. I'm definitely seeing some of that light reflect under my eyes over here. Not so much over here where I've powdered, but I am seeing it under here. Smoothing, maybe a little. It did apply really, really nicely. It went on really smooth. It definitely blended out very easily, so I love all of that. So far, I am liking this concealer. I adore the packaging. I think it's the cutest, prettiest packaging. I like the doe foot on this one. I think it looked really nice on my skin. I do think there is a light reflecting quality to it. It definitely seems illuminating, especially on the side that I have not powdered. It definitely has that more luminosity to it over here. I'm not sure if I love that for my under eyes, but when I set with my powder on this side, I definitely got a little bit more coverage and it definitely took away some of that light reflecting quality. That being said, it still feels super lightweight. It doesn't feel like I have a heavy concealer on my under eyes. It just feels comfortable. Again, it is super, super lightweight. I do think it blended out very, very easily, so I'm pleased with that as well. I feel like I'm noticing a little bit of creasing on the side that I didn't powder, particularly on my outer corner, which doesn't surprise me, but I don't like that. So right away I'm saying that this is probably a concealer that I would want to powder. I did expect that though, given that it's a hydrating concealer. I knew the preferred way would be to use powder, so I'm not surprised about that. I think it is definitely a solid medium coverage, and I really do like the doe foot on this as well. So right away I'm thinking it's a really great concealer, but I am going to wear this for the rest of the day, and then I will come back tonight and let you guys know my final thoughts, my thoughts on this concealer. I'm predicting that I'm going to say you do need to powder it, but that it's great. That's what I'm thinking I'm going to be saying at the end of the night, but we shall see. But that's it for now. I will see you guys in a little bit. Hey guys, so we are officially at the 10-hour mark. I meant to do a midday check-in, but I did not get a chance to do so. So here are my final thoughts on the Too Faced Born This Way Ethereal Light Concealer. It was pretty much as I thought with the side that I did not set. It definitely did crease a bit, particularly right in my inner corner, but honestly it's not too bad. It's really, really not too bad. It could look a lot worse. I was expecting it to look a lot worse than it really does. For not setting it, I just thought it was going to be a mess. The side that I powdered though looks pretty flawless in my opinion. I've still got the coverage, it's still holding on, it's still going strong. I actually went out on the boat this afternoon and I did get a little bit wet, so I definitely was expecting this to break down a lot more than it did. So I am really quite pleased with how well this held up. Again, this felt super, super lightweight under my eyes. Like, it did not feel like I had anything on. It gave me a really good medium coverage. I really don't think, based on the consistency, that you would really be able to build it much more than that, but I really did like the coverage that I was able to get with this. Again, super lightweight, definitely very smooth. I really liked the doe foot on this one. I like the shape. It's not super unique, but I really do like how it's slanted on the one side. I also, as I mentioned earlier, really enjoyed the shade. This definitely does have a more pinky undertone, which, as somebody who has a cool undertone, I am so grateful that this is not pulling yellow. Overall, I quite like this. I definitely have to play with it a little bit more to determine where it falls in my rankings of other concealers that I like, but I think I do really like it. Again, it's a hydrating concealer, so if you don't want it to crease, you're definitely going to need to set it, even though the creasing really wasn't that bad. Again, it's super lightweight, super comfortable. The one thing I will note is it does describe itself as the Ethereal Light Concealer, and that just means there's going to be a bit of a radiance to it, and I do think that's true. I do think there was a little bit more, perhaps, radiance than I would like under my eyes on the side that I did not set, but with a powder added, it really just kind of took that away. So I appreciated that as well. Overall, I think this is a pretty good concealer. I'm definitely going to keep testing it, trying it out, playing with it a little more, to gather a little bit more of my thoughts, but overall I really like it. I think the packaging is beautiful. I'm really excited to have this one in my collection. Really enjoyed it overall, so this one was a win for me. Yeah, so I hope this video was helpful. Let me know down below if you're planning to pick this one up. I am so excited that this worked out really well. But that is it for me today. Thank you so very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And if you're new here, I hope you'll consider subscribing before you go. I do upload at least 3 new videos every single week. Thank you again so very much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!
Put